This is what I found is the best way to skive. I have no idea what that is. The most important thing is get in the shop, make something cool, enjoy yourself. Welcome to Big Stack's small workshop Q&A session, where I answer all the questions that you might have regarding making things in your workshop. Jenkins, 1979, asks me, please explain deglazing leather. When should we? Should we? How do we deglaze? Thank you. I'm very glad you asked this question because honestly, Jenkins 1979, I have no idea what that is. Well, let's back up a minute. I didn't know what that was. I do now. Deglazing leather is when you're removing the finish off the leather, oils, waxes, whatever type of finish that the tannery would put on there, so you can apply paint. And here's the reason I never knew this. I've never painted leather. I've always wanted to, but I've never really painted leather. So I learned something new. Deglazer removes the oils, waxes, whatever kind of buildup, so you can paint leather. Now, let's talk for a second about leather paint because I've done some research on this. Leather paint is not typical paint. It's not like getting your regular acrylic paint and painting that on. You can't grab your Bob Ross oil set and put on the magic white and then start painting. And this is the wet on wet technique with happy little trees. Now you can paint happy little trees if you want to. Just like Bob Ross says, this is your world. You can do whatever you want. But you definitely want to use paint that is designed for leather. And I'll tell you why. One word, flexibility. You want the paint to flex and move and twist with the leather as it's doing it and not break off. It's the elasticity in that dried paint that is going to make a big difference in your finished product. And it's going to keep up the integrity of whatever image you want to put on the leather itself. So definitely, first thing before you paint is deglaze the leather because you want a nice adhesion and bond of that leather paint onto your leather. If you're enjoying this video so far, do me a favor, hit that like button. And if you're really enjoying it, go ahead and subscribe for me. Tom the Move asks me, have you got any tips for skiving? I get too high on one side, then take too much off that, and eventually I just chop the whole end off and start over. Well, I do have a tip for skiving because Tom the Move, I was just like you at one point in time. I got frustrated with skiving. I tried new techniques, I read up on what people did, asked a few experts, and here's what we come to. When you skive, you're basically taking the leather and reducing the thickness of it by cutting it at a very, very slight angle. So this is too steep of an angle. We're talking about an angle like that you can barely notice. The only problem is the best way to skive is not to come directly and straight across. What you want to do is, let's see if I can illustrate it right here. What you want to do is, instead of coming straight down, in other words, we're taking it at an angle, but let's say you see the top view. We're going to take it, and it's coming straight down. That's not going to work. What you want to do is come in at an angle. Come in at an angle. So start basically on maybe like one side of your leather, and ever so slowly as you're coming down, move across it. Cut this little piece over here, keep going until you've finished your leather and this little nub right up there. This is what I found is the best way to skive. Now, there is something else that is very important when it comes to skiving. And whatever technique or method you use when you skive, this is a must. Make sure your skiver is sharp. And I mean razor sharp, as sharp as you can get it. Just for this reason, there is one type of skiver that I prefer. This sucker right here is my preferred choice of skiver, and I'll tell you why. Let's see how close we can get. Can you guys see that? See the razor blade in there? That's right, as sharp as a razor. And guess what? When you skive with a razor, that's as sharp as it needs to be. When it dulls over time, you just pop that little razor out and drop a new one in there. Now there are multiple tools that you can skive with. There's different types of skivers. Here's one right here. Now some of my viewers that are well versed in the name of Leathercraft tools will probably know if this is. I think it's a French skiver or a Japanese skiver. I'm not 100% sure. But again, you have to keep that as sharp as you can possibly get it. And to keep it sharp, I would store it in a little pouch. And you can also go with your basic budget skiver, and I'm going to show you what my basic budget skiver looks like. You can pick this up for a couple of dollars at the hardware store. Boom. Same thing. Doesn't work as nice, but it gets the job done, and it comes in way, way under budget. If you're just starting out, do not be afraid to use beginner tools. Having a skiver like this, until you can afford a skiver that's different, or until you feel comfortable enough doing leathercraft that you're going to stick with it and you want to get a better skiver, there is nothing wrong with starting with something like this. One of my regulars, Anjay, commented, I love Tandy leather. However, as someone who lives in Southwest Missouri, I would be a terrible leather worker if I didn't point out that Springfield Leather Company also has cut projects. I think Weaver Leathercraft may as well. Welcome back, my friend. Anjay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, there are other companies that do carry prepackaged leather projects. Tandy's not the only one. I just happened to purchase one from Tandy because I was buying some other things, and I decided that I was going to order one so I could show you guys, and maybe we'll build it together. This is it right here, the Aspen card case. Let me know if you guys want to see me make this. I can give you my opinions on it. We can make it together. The most important thing is get in the shop, make something cool, enjoy yourself, and relax. Have fun. That's what Leathercraft is all about. If you have any questions, do me a favor. Drop me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, Big Stacks grows, Big Stacks builds, and Big Stacks makes. And I'll see you guys next time at Big Stacks Small Workshop.